Greetings, boys and girls. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing for an upcoming division test. The big idea in today's lesson is just to review the many ways that we can divide. Okay, most of your parents learned how to do long division. That is a method that a lot of people use, but there are other methods that you can use to divide. And so we just want to understand basic division concepts. Let's get into the first part, which is our vocabulary. So in the first question, they say, you use the blank method of dividing when multiples of the divisor are subtracted from the dividend and then the quotients are added together. So we see a keyword. We're looking at some quotients that are going to be added together. So this is the partial quotients method, which is very similar to the partial products method, which is what we used for multiplication. But when we're undoing that multiplication, we would use partial quotients. The second part asks us, when a number cannot be divided evenly, the amount left over, the remaining part, is called the remainder. Okay, so we're going to write remainder. All right, hopefully those vocabulary words were a review. Now let's look at a strategy. So they ask us to use an array to find the quotient and the remainder. So an array. When I'm creating an array, I'm thinking of having a certain number of rows with a certain number in each row. So I'm dividing 26 by 6. So I will use rows of 6, and I'm going to see how many rows it takes for me to make 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Now, in this array, I'm going to switch colors. I have 1 row, 2 rows of 6, 3 rows of 6, 4 rows of 6. So my answer is 4, but look, I have 2 left over. So I would say 4 remainder 2. So 26 divided by 6 would give us 4 groups, but there'd be 2 left over that didn't fit into an even-sized group. All right. Hopefully that problem made sense. You can press pause to get this down on your sheet. In the next problem, we're using another approach to division. So we used an array in the first problem, and now we're going to use repeated subtraction to divide. Well, remember, division is actually just repeated subtraction, okay? But we have different methods that allow us to do it quicker than just subtracting over and over and over again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually subtract 7 as many times as I can until I can no longer take 7 away. So I'll start with 98 minus 7, which equals 91. Then I'll subtract 7 from 91, which would be 84. I'll subtract another 7 from 84, which would be 77. I'll take 7 from 77, which would be 70. Then I'm going to take 70 and I'm going to subtract 7 from that, and I'm left with 63. Take another 7 away, and I am left with 56. Take another 7 away, and that would be 49. Take another 7 away, and I'm left with 42. Alright, so I have 42. I take 7 away. I have 35. Take another 7 away. I have 28. Take another 7 away. I have 21. Take another 7 away, I have 14. If I take another 7 away from 14, I have 7. And then I take one more 7 away, and I have 0. So there's nothing else I can take away. And now I'm going to go count how many times I took 7 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it looks like 98 divided by 7 is 14. I can check my answer by taking the 14, which is my quotient, and multiplying that by my divisor of 7. I should get my dividend of 98 if this is correct. 4 times 7 is 28. I carry my 2. And then 1 times 7 is 7, plus 2 would be 9. So the fact that I got 98 tells me that my answer was correct. Now again, this is a way I can actually divide. It's going to take a while. You're going to have to be great with your subtraction, but this is one of the tools in our division tool belt. Press pause on the video if you need time to work this problem out. In the next problem, we're using a third method, which is going to be partial quotients. Now, partial quotients, that's when I'm going to take out large chunks. Just thinking of the divisor and multiples of the divisor, I'm going to take large chunks out, and then I'm going to add the parts of the answer together. Okay? So, I have 552 divided by 4. And I'm going to set this up very similarly to a division problem. Sometimes you'll see it written like this. Okay, so I'm looking and I have 500 something. Well, I know off the bat I can take out 400 because 400 is simply 100 times 4. So I'm going to take 400 out, I'm going to subtract that out, and I would be left with 152. Now, I'm going to take, thinking what else I can take. Well, a multiple of 4 is 12, and if I have a 0 on that, that would be 120. So I can take 120 out, and how do I get to 120? 4 times what equals 120? Oh yeah, 4 times 30 equals 120. So I'm subtracting that out, and I have 32. 32 left. Now I'm thinking of a multiple of 4 that is, 32 is a multiple of 4, but 4 times what equals 32? 4 times 8. So now I'm going to take an 8 out, because 4 times 8 equals 32. Now I have 32 minus 32, which equals 0. The fact that I'm at a 0 means that I've taken all of my equal size groups out. Now, to find my answer, I'm simply going to look at my partial quotients. So I'm going to be adding 100 plus 30 plus 8, which equals, looks like expanded form, 138. Now I can check my answer by taking 138 and multiplying it by 4, and I expect to see my answer as 552. 8 times 4 would be 32. Carry my 3. 3 times 4 would be 12, plus 3 would be 15. Carry my 1. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 would be 5. So I got 552. So that is also correct. Please press pause on this video if you need some more time. All right, we are ready for just dividing with the old school method. Now, some people are going to really enjoy this method. Some people are going to need some more practice with this method. So that's what we're doing in this video. We're practicing the method. The first thing I always like to do when I get ready to do a division problem is I like to write my multiples of the divisor. So I have 153 divided by 5. So I list my multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And I stop at the 10th multiple. Okay, and then I just start my division steps. I ask myself, how many times does 5 go into 1? 1 is the first digit of my dividend. Well, 5 does not go into 1 at all. So I put my 0 up top, I put my 0 underneath, and take 1 minus 0, which equals 1. Then I bring down the very next digit, which is a 5. At this point, I'm looking at 15, and I ask myself, hey self, how many times does 5 go into 15? 5, 10, 15. 5 goes in there 3 times. So the 3 is what I write up top, and below the 15, I write the actual multiple. Okay? So I get to put my 15 down here. Now, all the 4th graders like this next step, which is to subtract. I subtract 15 minus 15, which equals 0. Now, as much as I want to be done, I'm not, because I have another digit to bring down, which is the 3. Once I bring a digit down, I start over by asking myself a question. Okay, and I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 5 go into 3? It doesn't go at all, 0 times. I have to actually write that 0 down, because if I don't write the 0, it looks like my answer is just 3. But when I put my 0 afterwards, my answer is 30. Okay, so since 5 goes into 3 0 times, I put a 0 underneath the 3 as well, and I subtract. 3 minus 0 equals 3. So what happens with this 3? Well, it becomes my remainder. So my answer is simply 30 with a remainder of 3. Okay, and I wrote that nice and neatly underneath so someone can follow it. Okay, we have one more long division problem, and it is number 12. So I'm going to first list my multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Now I look at the first digit of the dividend, and I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 8? Okay, 4, 8. Well, it goes in 2 times. Underneath the 8, I'm going to write the actual multiple, which is 8. Now I can subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. Okay, after I subtract, I always bring down the next digit. Let me make sure it looks like that 0. So now I have another 0. What do? Well, I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 0? And it goes in 0 times. So I put my 0 there and on the top, and then I put my 0 at the bottom. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now I bring down the 8. And I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 8? Well, we already said that was 2 times. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So I put the actual multiple underneath the 8. Then I subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. And I can check my answer by multiplying 202, which is my quotient, times 4, and I expect to get the dividend. 2 times 4 equals 8. 0 times 4 equals 0. 2 times 4 equals 8. So 808, 808, it's the same answer each time. Therefore, I see that 202 is the answer to number 12. You can press pause on this video if you need some more time. Okay, now they say use basic facts and place value to find the quotient. Well, if I look at the basic facts, I have, well, the problem is 810 divided by 9. But if I just look at the basic facts, I see 81 divided by 9. I know 81 divided by 9 would be 9, but I can't forget to tack on this 0 to the end. So my answer would be 90. 90. Okay. Next problem says, Mrs. Valdez bought 6 boxes of roses. Each box had 24 roses. She divided, ooh, they even told you, all the roses into 6 equal-sized bunches. How many roses were in each bunch? Well, as I try to visualize this problem, I see that there are 6 boxes, and inside the 6 boxes there's the same thing, 24 roses. Ooh, it does help if I make 6 boxes and not 5. So she's going to divide all of the roses into 9 equal-sized bunches. So now I can imagine that all of this is getting divided into 9 groups. Okay, so this is a multi-step problem. The first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out how many flowers do I have in all, so that I can then take that amount and divide it by 9 to put them in equal-sized bunches. So I'm going to multiply 24 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry my 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 2 would be 14. So my total is 144. Now from the 144, I am actually going to be dividing that by 9. This is the second step, dividing 9 into 144. Okay, I'm going to use partial quotients this time. So I'm going to take out 90, because I know that 10 times 9 equals 90. And then I'm going to take out 54, because I know that 6 times 9 equals 54. So I can add my partial quotients up. 10 plus 6, that would be 16. Therefore, the answer to this problem is 16. All right, be sure to show your work, because you want to practice these problems, since practice makes perfect. Feel free to press pause on the video, otherwise we're going to move on to the next problem. Alrighty. There are 4 students on a team for a relay race. How many teams can be made from 27 students? So 4 students on a team for a relay race, and you have 27 students. Now you can think of this several ways. A visual way would be to make 27 dots and group them in 4s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So then you look at the complete groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like there would be 6 teams of 4, but there's 3 other people left over. they cannot form an actual team because it wouldn't be fair for this relay race if they are missing someone. So in this instance, we're only going to have 6 teams. Alright, well I hope this made sense, and I hope that you're feeling a little, more prepared for the test. You can always get on iExcel and practice more skills, but this was a division review in preparation for our test tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye.